Shalom, y'all, man. It's your boy, y'all's chosen one, and so are you. We're continuing the great book of Enoch. We're on chapter 6, and this is where it gets real, man. This is where the Bible only gives a fragment. The Bible only really gives like one verse on this subject, but Enoch goes to it further. Book of Jasher does too, but this is where it gets real, man. So in your Bible, you need to turn to Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. And a lot of your pastors don't explain this in church, in the churches that you go to, but that's why the Most High told you to study to show yourself approved. So here we are. We're in the Book of Enoch, chapter 6. And here we go on this great journey, man. I hope you gain some knowledge today. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. This is in Genesis 1 and 2. Genesis 6, verse 1 and 2. And the Malachim, the children of heaven, in your Bible they call the son, I think they call the sons of God. The children of the heavens saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Now, their habitation is heaven. Heaven's Malachim were made to intermingle with flesh. So their habitation is heaven and was spirit. So now, let's see what happens. And Semyaza, Enoch even gives the name of one of these angels. Let's keep this in mind, man. There was two fallen angels. He had the one where Satan took a third of the angels with him. And then you have this one right here. And this one right here is the one that really caused a lot of the griminess that goes on in earth right now. And Semyaza, who was their leader, see, it wasn't Satan with this fall. It was Semyaza who was the leader of this fall. Said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. See, Yah makes everything. Even the Malachim have free will. And it wasn't like they didn't know that they was doing wrong. They knew they was doing wrong. He even said the penalty of this great sin. What caused this to go about? Because just like Satan, they didn't want to be messengers to man. Remember, the Most High said man would be was his greatest creation. And the Malachim would serve us. And the Malachim was like, nah, man, ain't no way I'm serving them people, man. I'm mighty, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty than them. I'm more beautiful than them. I'm more powerful than humans. Why I gotta serve these people? And that's the thought. That was the thought of the Malachim. Verse 4, and they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. See, Semyaza got these dudes together, these Malachim together. You know, just like any great leader, man. Great leader can like influence a lot of people, and this cat Semyaza did the same thing. Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. Now they bound it. It's their word. And they were in all 200. Now see, the Book of Enoch even points out how many Malachim descended from heaven to do this deed. It was 200 of them who descended in those days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. That's in Genesis 5, verse 16. And if you think about it, look at Paramount Pictures. The next time you look at a Paramount Pictures film and you see those stars falling from heaven, and they make that little thing around that mountain is Mount Hermon. This is a wicked world, man. It's a wicked world. You don't get to the big time places in this world without doing some satanic deed or satanic ritual, man. That's the mountain that's shown. That's Mount Hermon. So when you see Paramount Pictures and you see those stars coming down, because stars are always parallel to angels, Malachim. and they descended on Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. See, Paramount Pictures could have used any mountain, but they chose to use Mount Hermon. And you see how wicked that is? And these are the names of their leaders. Enoch even gives their leaders. Simyaza, their leader. Arigba, Ramael, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel. See all these L's, that's for God, El. Most High named him El. Ezekiel, Barakiel, Asael, Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsapiel, Satarel, Turel, Jamjael, Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens. So each one of these chiefs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I could be miscounting, but 20. It should be 20. Should have 20 leaders and they're chiefs of 10, so that make 200, okay? And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives. Read that in Genesis 6, verse 1 and 2. They took to themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. So this is defiling. The angel's natural habitation is spirit. And they began to defile themselves with flesh, with women. And that wasn't their natural habitation. And they taught them charms and enchantments. They pretty much, these women that they came into, pretty much became witches. These charms and enchantments were spells, all kinds of stuff. And the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. What does that mean? Drugs. Showing them how to cut up things to make drugs and stuff. So you can get to that other level when you have the spiritism. These drugs take you to that other level. It opens you up. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells. Genesis 6, verse 4. There are the giants that's mentioned, that when your preacher is in church, he just bypasses that. Or some of them don't even go into it at all. But Enoch spells it out. And he even gives the heights. These are literal giants. Ever see the movies like Lord of the Rings, 300? Movies like that? That's what it's talking about. These were giants. You know what I'm saying? Giants. That's why the Most High had to wipe out this world, man. He had crazy stuff. You don't think there were giants and these things had dinosaurs? They had people tall as dinosaurs, man. Whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. So these things were bloodthirsty, man. When these humans, we 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, some of us, we no longer could do what they wanted to do, sustain them. So they started devouring us. And remember, this whole thing was because they were being disobedient because they didn't want to follow men. So the doggone, the babies that they made, man, when they grew up, man, they hated us, man. They didn't, because they wanted to be us. They wanted to be human. So since they couldn't be us, they chose to destroy us. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind, and they began to sin against birds and beasts. There we go. What's the name of the dinosaur bird that fly? Pterodactyl, I think. I forgot. And beast. Began to make all kinds of things that attack men and women. And reptiles. who knows what kind of animals. All these things that scientists have found in the ocean, that they find in the ocean, that may have got wiped out in the flood. These crazy monsters, yeah. And fish, and devour one another's flesh, and drink the blood, They were like vampires, man. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. So then men start crying out to the Most High. Even though the men were sinners too, they start crying out to the Most High like, hey, what's going on down here? We have these things. You got dinosaurs all over the place. You got all kinds of saber-toothed tigers. You got all kind of crazy beasts in this world. And not only that, when they were sinning against all that stuff, if you read in Jasher, I can't think of the name of it, but they was making these things. That's why you read in Greek mythology, like minotaurs and those half horse, half men. These were the kind of things they making. When you look at Greek mythology, yeah, it's mythology, but at the same time, it's telling some truth to it too. You know what I'm saying? Because those things existed. You think a director just comes up with this kind of stuff out of his brain? No, if you read the book of Jasher, and I can't remember what the name of these things were called, Shaman, Eman, or something like that, I forgot. But these were the things that these angels were creating. They were destroying the Most High's creation. Because remember, everything that the Most High made was perfect. And these things wanted to try to replicate or go against the creation of the Most High. They wanted to be gods on this planet. All right, chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords. Look at that. Men didn't even know how to make swords. We had rocks and stones and stuff like that. That's why the Most High said, if you smoke somebody with a rock or something like that. Now these Malachim, these evil Malachim, were teaching men how to make swords and knives, and he still does it today. Each and every year, your technology gets better. You think it's by coincidence that these weapons become more and more advanced? No, these angels are teaching men today how to make these weapons and stuff. Why do you think they try to make antimatter weapons? They trying to destroy the other angels out there, man. You got to get this stuff, man. When that last fight happens between the Most High and these demonic forces on earth, they try to make antimatter weapons, man. They try to destroy the Most High. You can read that in Jasher too. What the whole Tower of Babel was about. The doggone stargates they were trying to make to get back into heaven, and how they were shooting weapons into the heavens, into that third heaven, trying to shoot the Most High and his angels. That the Most High fooled their ass. And shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals. That's where you get your periodic table from. These metals were known by the Malachim, and the Malachim, these fallen Malachim was giving them forbidden knowledge. Just like Satan gave Eve that forbidden knowledge. She ate of that fruit. She knew, and then they became sick, and then sin came in, and then they knew. They never knew. They would have never known death if sin had come into it. But what these angels are doing is giving men forbidden knowledge and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids. They show women how to put on makeup to mesmerize the man. You know, it'd be like, oh my God, I'm so mesmerized. They show women how to do that. And all kinds of costly stones and all coloring things. Show people rubies, diamonds, emeralds. Showed them all that stuff. How the Most High planted that in the earth. It showed them all that stuff. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Semyaza, remember, he was the leader. What did he teach? Enchantments, of course. He taught people how to become warlocks and wizards and all this stuff, and how to conjure up spirits and stuff like that. And root cuttings, that's drugs. And it still goes on today, man. People trying to make the best drug out there to get you high, open you up. Amoros, the resolving of enchantments, how to conjure up something to fight against resolving it. That's crazy. Barakiel taught astrology. Now, the heavens were supposed to be used as seasons, and times. Now, this knowledge, the astrology, came about by this fallen angel Barakiel. And he taught astrology. So that's why when you see people with tarot cards and Ouija boards and all that stuff is real. Because this is a forbidden knowledge given by these Malachim, these fallen Malachim. Kokabel, the constellations, this other angel taught the constellations. How do you think people know about the Big Dipper and Orion and all this stuff? These fallen Malachim were there in creation. They was there when things were being created. They knew the things the Most High was doing. Some of them probably did it for the Most High. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. Half moon, quarter moon, all that stuff. The courses that it goes through. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. And we're going to stop right there, man. That was absolutely beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Because what? In that brief little thing in Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 and 2, this breaks it down and lets you know what those giants really were. And eventually, people today call them Nephillim. Look that up, man. Fallen angel, Nephillim. And eventually, those Nephilim, after the flood, are going to drown out. And they're going to become evil spirits that roam the earth today. All right, man. I hope that helped you guys out a little bit, man. These fallen ones, man, they are not your friends, man. You think aliens and all that stuff? These evil spirits, they are not your friends, man. They may give you all these things as far as the drugs and how to make weapons of war and try to get you on top of things, but in the long run, they're not your friends, man. They despise you, actually. They wish they could be you because the Most High made them to watch you or to be a messenger to you. And they thought they were better than you. And they wasn't having that with the Most High. They had differences with the Most High. And remember, Satan and the third of the angels, this is the second one that came down. These right here, man, it caused a lot of strife here on the planet Earth right here, man. That's why the Most High had to wipe out everything, because everything became corrupt. All the perfect things that he had put on this earth, because everything was perfect when he made it in 6 days, these beings tried to wipe out everything the Most High had created. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. I love you guys. I hope you got a lot out of that. I'm going to see you on chapter 9. All right, so we just did Enoch 6 through 8. And that was highly just awesome. I hope you learned a lot. All right, shalom.